The more you go out in color and wear color, the more you'll feel confident wearing it.
You are listening to The Clear Cut Podcast. I'm your host, Olivia Landau, founder of The Clear Cut. Hey everyone, and welcome to The Clear Cut Podcast. I'm so excited to be sitting down with Caroline Vazzana. She is a fashion editor turned content creator, one of my favorite content creators, and writer. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I love watching all of your colorful, styled outfits every single day on TikTok. Tell me a little bit about your career journey and how you found your personal style and how that turned into your full-time job.
Sure. So it's a long story, but I will give you the abridged version.
Yeah.
Growing up, I always knew I wanted to work in fashion, so I started doing internships in college. And then when I graduated, I landed my first job at Teen Vogue. I thought I wanted to be the next big fashion editor.
That was my first internship.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, it's so funny because so many fashion girlies that I talk to, Teen Vogue's a rite of passage. You've worked at Teen Vogue, you've interned at Teen Vogue, or you went to Teen Vogue University. We could talk.
Yeah.
But so I feel like it's a rite of passage for so many fashion people to go through this, which I loved Teen Vogue, I did. And then after I worked there, I worked at InStyle. So, was on the fashion editor kind of trajectory. And then it was around the time when social media was kind of starting to become a thing. It was only the word blogger at the time, not the word influencer, and I didn't really see myself as a blogger. I didn't really know how I identified, but I started posting daily outfit photos while I worked at InStyle. I'd grab a coworker or just a friend in the building, and I'd be like, please run out with me on, lunch break and take a quick outfit photo. And I'd say that was the beginning of everything.
Were you posting on Instagram or on a blog?
On Instagram.
Yeah, okay.
And I would hashtag what I wore to work today. That was my little, and so every day I had no rhyme or reason. There was no strategy. I just wanted to share my outfits, and I always loved color and definitely was not as good with it as I am now. It's been a journey in terms of gaining confidence and finding my personal sense of style and not being afraid to try different things. But it all started with what I wore to work today. And then after, working in the magazine world for a bit, I was like, if I had the time to really, really dedicate to social media and to just being my own boss was the thought, was I want to be my own boss. I don't know what that looks like. So I eventually started writing a book called Making It in Manhattan, which is now also the name of my podcast. And it's, Making It in Manhattan. It's a beginner's guide to breaking into the industry. So I was writing Making It in Manhattan. I was posting my daily outfit photos, and I decided, okay, it's kind of a now or never moment. I decided to quit my full-time job, and it was so scary, but I did it. And I'd say about 6 months into it, I landed my first big influencer job. And after that, I was like, this is how much these people get paid to do this? I'm never going back. And, thankfully, brands started coming in and supporting me and giving me a shot. And I, any opportunity I got, I was so thankful. And that's what gave me, the opportunity to continue on and to then eventually start creating videos whenever TikTok came out. So I went full-time in 2016. So it's been a while, which is crazy.
And how have you seen the landscape changing since you first went on your own?
It's changed so much because when I first went out on my own, it was only Instagram and it was just photos. There was no stories, there was no reels, there was no, anything, IGTV, nothing. So you'd go on, no carousels either. You'd go on, you'd post one photo a day and that was it. And that's how you were supposed to grow, which I now think is just so wild.
It's 1,000 times harder.
It's just, but how was anyone getting to know me through one photo, and wanting to follow me through you didn't know anything about me, you didn't even know what my voice sounded like, you didn't, know what my personality was like. So I've seen it change so much with video content. I feel like video content has absolutely changed everything. It's been an amazing way for me, someone who has a very eclectic maximalist wardrobe, to show off my style more, because there's only so much you can show within one photo, whereas I feel video, you're able to really capture the movement and the way a certain fabric looks and things like that. So the industry's changed so much. There's been so many more influencers and creators that have come onto the scene because of TikTok, which is great to like get to meet so many different people and be inspired by others and to make, you know, different and new friends in the industry. But it's changed so much. Like if Caroline back then could see Caroline now, she'd be like mind blown, absolutely like shook to the core.
And how do you like find constant like inspiration for creating like new and exciting content? Because now, I mean, you have to post so much all the time and always like grab someone's attention immediately.
Yeah. You know, I feel like it goes through ebbs and flows. Like there's weeks where I'm feeling like super inspired, super creative, and then there's weeks where I'm like, I don't know what to share. I don't know what to say. I don't even know where my voice fits into this. You know, sometimes especially if like something's having a big moment that isn't really on brand for you, like when minimalism was a thing for years, I was like, I have no place here. I don't belong. Yeah, because I'm not quiet luxury. I'm loud luxury. Yeah. I'm like, hello, I'm here. So quiet luxury and minimalism was, no, though I love it. I think it's so chic. It's just like, it wasn't for me. So I think sometimes being able to like take a step back, look at yourself, know what you stand for, and then I feel like I get very inspired by my clothing and by like what I have in my wardrobe. So it's like walking in, maybe pulling out a few pieces I haven't worn in a while, revisiting old friends, I say, that haven't had an adventure in a while and taking them out and putting them on and you know, going and doing something fun. It could just be taking yourself to lunch, and maybe when you do that, you then take photos and you take some videos and you're all dressed up. So I think just being inspired by your wardrobe and by your day-to-day, and then of course scrolling and seeing what's out there, and if there is anything trending, thinking, okay, well, how can I take this trend but then apply it to me and my brand?
Totally. And as someone who, like, at least for me, I find it so difficult, like, if it's I find like the maximalist and the colorful so aspirational but so difficult to like attain if you want to try that as your personal style, because you're like, where do I even begin and start testing that out? It's so much easier to have like a capsule wardrobe in neutrals, right?
Totally.
So do you have any tips for someone who's like interested in like exploring that but doesn't know where to start?
100%. So I totally feel you, and I think my biggest tip is to start like with accessories, because don't get me wrong, like you can go out and buy like a fabulous neon tulle dress and like have a ball, but I think if you're trying to get pieces that feel, you know, just like a bit more everyday and like, oh, this is, you know, something I want to wear and actually wear over and over again, get like a colorful shoe, a colorful bag, a colorful earring, you know, for me, a colorful pair of glasses. I think starting with accessories is a way to like ease into it, like a pink shoe. Maybe you're wearing like a black dress, but then you put like a neon pink shoe with it or something. It's an easy way to like have color, but you're like a half commitment. You're not fully committing in. And then I think, you know, getting like a colorful piece here and there, like a fun top, a fun dress, and then, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'll save this for like when I have something special. But then maybe like schedule a fun dinner date night with your girlfriends or with your significant other and make it a point to wear that piece. The more you go out in color and wear color, the more you'll feel confident wearing it. Because when you're wearing color, like people notice you immediately. Like they look at you. So there comes a level of like being okay with that. And it's taken years for me. Like I think finding my personal style, like I also found my confidence in it, and I became the person and the woman I always wanted to be because of my style. And so I think not being afraid to embrace it, but also wearing fun things and wear them around people you love so that you feel comfortable.
Yeah, and I think it does take like a level of confidence to wear like bold colors. So I like the idea of like easing into it, maybe like a shoe or a jacket or a bag or something like that.
Don't go like full committal, but like I say, go to like the thrift store, like, you know, don't like overspend, like don't like go break the bank, but go to the thrift store, find some cool pieces, and then just like have fun with it.
Yeah, totally. So how did you take like your personal style and blend it into your like bridal style for when you were getting married?
Yeah, that's a great question, because a lot of people were like, you're not wearing white, are you? And I was like, this is the one day of my whole life that I've actually been like, I'm wearing white. Like I didn't want to wear color. So I think there was like a big internal struggle of people being like, no, of course you're wearing color. And I was like, no, but this is the one day and like the one tradition that I really, really want. So instead I was like, okay, well, what's like my other love aside from color? And it's like volume and tulle. And I love like a voluminous piece. Like wrap me up in a boa every day and I'm happy. So I worked with Christian Siriano, who is a designer that I love and adore. And no one does like tulle like Christian Siriano. So I went and I was like, I want big, I want tulle, I want voluminous, and I want something that I can still move in and dance in and have fun in. And he did that. I had a huge tulle skirt, huge poofy sleeves, and like floral appliques, and it just felt so me. And then the skirt was removable, so then I had a second skirt that was shorter but also still tulle and like a little poof for dancing. So it was just like perfect and me. But I know a lot of people still to this day are like, I can't believe you didn't wear color, but I have no regrets with it.
Do you have any tips for like brides to be as they like approach trying to find like their dream dress or wedding dress?
Stick to what you want. Like, don't be afraid, because there's going to be a lot of opinions. There's going to be a lot of people giving you unsolicited advice. So go and do a little research on your own and maybe find out what you like by yourself, like without anybody else around. And then make sure whenever you are then going and trying on things and whatever, bring people who you really trust and whose opinions you really, really love, because don't feel like obligated to bring someone who's then maybe going to give you advice that isn't in your best interest. Bring people who like, which was honestly the hardest part.
Who did you shop with? Or
well,
go
so
with one that you
that's
just were designing?
what I was just about to say. Two parts to that. One, my husband, Dave, is the only person that I trust for style advice.
Wow.
Aside from myself. Because he knows me better than anybody in the world. We've been together 11 years, and he's more of like a classic dresser, but he could look at what I'm wearing and understand my style. And so if I'm like, hey, which shoe or which bag do you think? He's the only person that I really trust. That like if he tells me something, I'm like, You know, a lot of times I'm like, if someone says something, I'm like, no, I think this. But if he says it, I'm like,
So he was part of your
no.
Oh.
So that was the hardest thing, was keeping it a secret from him.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to tell him so badly. I wanted to bring him to a fitting. But I didn't. So it was me, my mom, my two sisters, my assistant, and a really good friend of mine who I really trust her opinion, who she also works in fashion. So yeah, like between my assistant and my friend, like those were the opinions that I was like, be brutally honest. But it was killing me not to tell him. Like, it was like honestly the worst thing ever. I hated it. That was the one tradition I really wanted to break.
Yeah. So we have a fun game where we have some celebrity wedding dresses.
Yes.
And I'd love to get your opinion on rating them. So we'll start with, I believe this is Sophia Bush.
I saw this. I loved this dress. I thought it was so beautiful. I love that she took the white, tradition, but flipped it on its head with like a pop-up. I loved this dress. I thought it was so beautiful, so I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Also, I'm the worst person to ask to rate things because I think fashion is super subjective. And like,
it's your personal
if you're
opinion.
happy and like you're loving what you're wearing, I'm like, yes!
This is like as if you were to wear it.
Okay, if I would wear it. Okay.
Okay, Kourtney Kardashian.
I mean, it was beautiful for her. This definitely is like not me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more like sexy for, which don't get me wrong, everyone wants to feel sexy on their wedding day, but like I feel sexy in like a big tulle, like, ensemble, but she looks stunning, but I wouldn't wear it. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'd give it like a 6.
Okay, that's still generous. Okay, Olivia Culpo, a Dolce Vita.
I saw that too. She looked really beautiful. I mean, I think it was a little bit like unexpected, but I think she got married in a church, and like so did I. So, there's this belief you want to have like your arms covered or your shoulders covered or things like that. So I thought it was very beautiful. It's super simple, but it's like, I think it's more like that quiet luxury. Like, I kind of honestly though wish she had her hair back with this dress because it's so big and with the long sleeve, and she's so stunning. She could pull it off. I feel like a like sleek low bun or something would have just been like perfect. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I would have worn it, but I would have like maybe a red lip and like a huge earring and a slick back bun. Maybe I give it like an 8.
Okay. Hailey Bieber.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Their wedding was so long ago now, and she's
5
pregnant.
years.
Like they look like babies here.
I know.
I think it's beautiful. Again, like I wouldn't have worn this on my wedding day personally for me. But I think she's beautiful, and I think her veil said like "till death do us part." I loved that. Like I love a detail. Give me a good detail. Maybe I give this like a 7 or something, because it's not really me, but I can appreciate like the glove and the lace. Like it's stunning.
Perfect. And this is Olivia Palermo's recent.
Oh, I loved that. That was so beautiful. I loved that, like, because technically it was like their 10-year anniversary, so I liked that she added like a pop of black. Like I just thought it was like unexpected, and I mean I adore her. I feel like she's like the OG one of the OG influencers. But I loved the little like poof, but it was like off the shoulder. Really, really, I'd wear this 10 out of 10.
Amazing.
I love that.
Kate Middleton.
Oh, I mean, beautiful, and I feel like for like a princess, like very princess. Like it was like all covered and like the V-neck, but again, like maybe like a little. It's funny because it was probably years ago now. It's probably like dated, right?
Yeah.
So it feels like dated a little bit, the design. So maybe I'd give it like a 6 or something, because I feel like it feels dated, but it's still beautiful.
Yeah. And last but not least, Solange Knowles.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. I love the gold cuffs. I think that's super cool, and I just love people who like do something unique. Like it's not like the traditional like wedding dress. So I don't know, maybe a 9.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for playing.
Of course. I'm generous. I can't give anyone a bad rating.
Generous.
Everyone passes.
So, in terms of wedding styles, I wanted to ask like what you think is like right now maybe in or out, and you can elaborate on that too. So, mix and match bridesmaids dresses.
Yeah, I feel like that's really having a moment for sure, and like brides even just being like, okay, the color scheme is like pink.
Yeah.
Pick a dress. I think that's kind of nice and cool, because then you can also buy a dress that you like, which I really think is nice, like for bridesmaids, like if you can buy a dress that maybe you'll be able to wear again. So I like it. I don't know if it'll last forever, or if years from now we're gonna look back and be like, you know, like it's funny, people are like, oh, I got married in 2010, like, ooh, this is what I did.
Yeah.
But it's funny because at the time that was it. So it's like, are we gonna look back on this and be like, ooh, or are we gonna be like, oh no, like this is now like it, like this is so chic. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Drop waist wedding dresses.
I feel like it takes a certain person to pull it off, per se. Not for me personally, but probably, you know, wedding dress trends come and go. So I feel like maybe it's for the right now, but not forever. But I mean, anything in white, it's classic. It's a wedding dress.
White tuxes for the groom.
I feel like if he wants to, go for it. Like, my husband personally, no. He's so classic. He was like, I want a black tux, black boats. Like, that's who he is.
Brooches for men.
Ooh.
On their, like, tux.
If you want to. Like, if you can pull it off. I guess it depends, like, what the brooch is. Like, what is it a brooch? Is it a family brooch? Is it meaningful?
Been seeing more and more on the red carpet.
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe not, like, for a wedding.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe you have to be you have to be a fashion person, I feel like, to want that. But yeah, on a red carpet for sure.
And appliques on wedding dresses.
I mean, I think they're super beautiful, and, like, I feel like they've been around for a while. I like them. I'd say in for now. Who knows? You know, everything makes its rounds.
Totally. I noticed your beautiful jewelry and your engagement ring, and since we're an engagement ring company, I'd love to know, were you involved in, like, designing it? What was that process like? Did you work with your husband?
So, not necessarily. Like, I told him things I didn't like, which I really wanted to be surprised, is really the end of, you know, the end goal of the story is I wanted to be surprised. We'd been together when we got engaged 7 years. And again, I trust his taste, but I also was like, this isn't an item of clothing. This is a, big purchase. And so I would send him things and be like, I do not like this. I do not like this. Like, he knew I liked yellow gold, which just, I've always been a yellow gold girl. And then certain diamond shapes. So I really always liked emerald cut. I just thought it was a little bit more eclectic. And, like, I also wanted something that I could wear with, like, all of my rings, because I wear a lot of rings every single day. So Thank you. All, like, a lot of them are vintage, like grandmother's rings and stuff. So I love jewelry. But, yeah,
Do you wear, like, kind of the same rings all the time, or do you, like, switch it up?
For right now, I say I go through ebbs and flows. So, like, for 5 months, I could be like, these are the rings I'm wearing every day. And then, like, in the 6th month, I'm like, oh, let me go ring shopping. And then I'll go to, like, antique stores or vintage stores, or if, like, my grandmother gave me a lot of jewelry and stuff, like, not like little kitschy things, like this ring with a C, because my name's Caroline, her name was Carol. So, like, and, little things like that. Now I wear it every single day. I don't take it off. So, I also don't take off my rings, because I just feel like they're, like, part of me, and especially the vintage ones that I love, I feel like, they were my grandma's, so, like, to get to give them another life and another adventure, I'm very sentimental with, like, jewelry and things like that, so I love it. But so anyway, I wanted him to pick something that could go with all of my other stuff, so it didn't feel too, like it takes away or anything.
Totally. We have a few different engagement ring styles here.
Beautiful. And
I'd love to get your opinion on, like, what type of woman would wear this ring.
Okay.
So let's start with this one. This is a pretty classic style.
That is so beautiful.
It is a 4.5 carat oval, just set on a gold band, and has a little hidden halo underneath.
Oh my gosh, this is literally stunning.
And feel free to, like, try
off the record. I'm like, how much?
No, there's no price on the tag, but I can.
It's so beautiful. Okay, so what kind of girl would wear this?
Yeah, what kind of girl wears this ring?
Well, so definitely a girl who isn't afraid of a little sparkle. Someone, I feel like, since it's yellow gold, I find that girls and guys who like yellow gold are a bit more eclectic. Like, I find that people who are not into fashion or not fashion people always get white gold, like, all the time. Like, anyone.
It's more traditional bridal.
Yes.
White,
yeah, like, both of my sisters, which their rings are gorgeous, white gold. Like, family members, white gold. Like, I think I'm, like, one of the only people in my realm who got yellow gold. So I feel like a yellow gold girly, like, you're eclectic, you like fashion, you follow trends, or you're a trendsetter. I think, like, the little, is that a halo? That's called hidden halo of diamonds around it also makes me think, like, she's an individual. She, likes unique things. She doesn't just want the same thing that everyone else has. I'd say, like, a trendy girl. Trendy girl.
Perfect. Yeah. Next up, we have this vintage ring. It's like a marquee diamond set with a halo of sapphire.
Oh my gosh. This is so beautiful. I think this girl is like a fashion girl. She, isn't afraid to be different, wants to stand out. Like, she probably is going to wear something super cool on her wedding day. Like, it's not like I'm going to be like, it's the girl who I follow, but it's probably one of those girls who maybe you follow someone like that who has like 5,000 followers, never posts, and has the best style. And I'm like, and I follow them and they don't even, like, they're like, who is this girl that's like obsessed with me? And I'm like, you're so cool, please post more. And they'll post like on their wedding day and it's the most fabulous, cool outfit. This is their ring. And I'm like, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you do, I don't know what your job is, but like, you appreciate fashion and you have good taste.
Definitely. This
is a beautiful ring. Yeah, this is for a special person.
Awesome. Next we have this. It's a square radian cut that's 6.5 carats with trapezoid side stones.
Wow. She's I was gonna say she's looking for a guy in finance. This is a nice ring. Like,
she found the guy in finance.
This guy has a good job, or girl. This guy or girl has a good job. You got a little money, honey. This is a beautiful ring. I think, like, I'm gonna say you're a little bit more classic, but you like the finer things in life, because since it is white gold or platinum, and it doesn't like have any like a hidden halo or something like that. It's like, would you call this a square diamond?
Yeah, it's a square radiant.
Yeah, I feel like the square, it's like maybe a little bit more classic of a shape. She's classic, but she likes the finer things in life. Like, she has a nice car. Yeah. She has a nice car. She likes nice vacations. Yeah. She's maybe not like a fashion girl, like dressed up, but she likes nice things. You know what I mean? Like, that girl.
She likes like labels, I think.
Yes. She has a Birkin.
Yes.
She has a Birkin.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's a beautiful ring. All of these are beautiful. I just want to call it. If you're
no,
watching
they're all
this
beautiful,
and like,
just they're different.
Yeah. Also, if you have any of these, please don't be offended.
No one has any of these.
I think also all of these girls I would want to be, or guys, I'd want to be friends with them.
This is a trois moi ring, so a 2-stone ring.
That's beautiful.
With an oval and a marquee. I mean, a pear-shaped diamond.
I think this is like a really interesting ring because it doesn't fully connect. So I don't know. I feel like the person that gets this is like actually, and I mean this in like a good way, like a little younger. So I was 27, I think, when I got engaged, about to turn 28. So, but I feel like the girl that gets this is like 24 maybe because it's cute, like it's fun, and it feels younger to me.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I think it's
like
really
a cool
fun.
young girl.
A cool young girl, and is like so like laid back about like I'm engaged, like maybe we'll just elope, like long like wavy hair, like maybe she lives by a beach. Yeah.
Perfect.
I love this ring too. All of them. And this one would stack nice with like some bands and stuff.
Totally.
I feel like.
Last but not least, we have this old European
that's
cut
so beautiful.
on like our head of the curve band.
Oh my gosh. It's like floating.
Yes.
Almost.
That's like.
Wow. This is a beautiful ring. Wow, that like looks really cool.
Yeah.
Because the way I wonder if it would get caught on things easily.
It sits really low to the fingers,
Yeah.
so it shouldn't.
No, I really haven't seen any engagement rings like this. So again, maybe similar to the vintage antique looking one. I feel like maybe this girl is into fashion and like isn't afraid to be different, wants something different, but like rather than an antique vibe, she wants like a modern vibe. Like I feel like this girl's modern, wants to like have something cool and updated because this is a super chic, cool engagement ring.
Yeah, this is one of our signature styles.
This is so beautiful. No, like that right there. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
Thanks for playing.
Of course, I hope I did good.
Yes, amazing. So I kind of want to circle back a little bit to any tips that you have for like finding your personal style if you are like young and like love fashion, but like you're trying to find out like what is my personal style? Do I just go with the trends and what people are saying is cool?
Yeah, totally.
I think I'm still trying to figure that out too.
I think you've got your jewelry accessory game on point, so I think
talking more fashion.
you're excused. But when it comes to finding your personal style, I think there's a couple things I could say. You know, one is experiment. Like the only way you're gonna find what works for you is figuring out what doesn't work for you. So try out different trends, try out different silhouettes, shapes, textures, fabrics, like try out different things because that's the only way that you're like, wow, like I look amazing in this color, or you know, brown's not so much my color, whatever it might be. That's the first one. I think the second one is we live in an age of social media, which is beautiful that, you know, there's so much out there, there's so much inspiration, but it's easy to get overwhelmed and to be inundated by trends. So I think be mindful of like who you're following, who you're watching, and like what you're absorbing. If you're really like dedicated, you're like, I want to find my personal sense of style, I want to be unique, I want to have fun with fashion, follow people who really inspire you and who are doing different things and also aren't just following trends, because then you can look to them and be like, oh, like that's interesting, like I never thought to put those two things together. Because I think that's the thing in terms of finding your personal sense of style is, for me at least, I always say my style is like it works, but sometimes you look at it, you're like, I would have never thought to put that together, but it works. And that's the fun thing with fashion, is there are no rules, there's no right and wrong. So I think play around, experiment, try out different things, you know, follow people who really inspire you, who aren't just doing the same thing as everybody else, and then look through your wardrobe. Like if someone posts something, be like, well, what do I have that's similar to that? Like you don't need to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe. Like I still have pieces from college that I just like loved and that are cool and might have literally the most random label in them, but they're fun, unique pieces, and I'll wear them over and over and over again. So I think that, and then I love vintage shopping because you are like almost forced to not buy just what's cool and what's trendy. You have to go in the store and you have to sift through and almost find, well, what do I like in this store? And believe me, it takes time. It's a journey finding your personal sense of style, but don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to take risks. The only way is through trial and error.
Amazing. Do you have any like exciting things on the horizon in terms of your career that you want to share?
I mean, I'm recording season 2 of my podcast, which is definitely career advice focused and fashion focused, and for all the people who are, you know, just love fashion, want to work in the fashion industry, and want to learn from some like really cool and inspiring people on like how to make it. And then just always, I feel like on TikTok, I'm always just posting the most crazy, colorful things and working on a few things that like I can't really talk about too much. But yeah, there's always something new. My 2-year wedding anniversary is coming up.
Congrats.
Thank you, which is so crazy. I already got a dress to wear for a photo shoot because I'm like, I'm never going to stop getting fun white things.
So it's
white.
colorful.
It's white and blue.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say because
Okay.
I haven't even posted about it yet. But it's white and blue, and there's some tulle in there. So that's all I'll say.
And I love when you incorporate your husband into your content. Does he like to do that, or do you
Yeah.
force him to?
So, you know, he is happy to do anything to support me. He's literally the most supportive person in the world. I'm truly so blessed. But he's definitely, like, more shy than I am. Like, I am like, hey, what's up? Like, this is what I'm wearing today. And he's a little bit, you know, not as comfortable in front of a camera, but I've been doing this for so long. And he just is, you know, happy to do anything to support me and to be part of it all. So he's definitely, like, not an influencer, but he's happy to be part of it in any way.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to follow along on season 2 and all of your content. Tell us where we can listen to you, follow you, purchase your book.
Totally. Awesome. Thank you. So you can follow me personally on all social media at Vazzana, my first initial and my last name. It's so funny. I made that handle like years ago, and then like now I'm locked in, so I'm not changing it. And then you can find my podcast is Making It in Manhattan. You can find it anywhere there's podcasts. We also are on Instagram at Making It in Manhattan. You can buy my book on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble and, you know, anywhere where they sell books. But if you Google Making It in Manhattan, it'll come up. But, yeah, that's everything, I think.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I'm really glad you were able to come on today.
No, thank you so much for having me. I had the best time, and now I'm going to just be dreaming about diamonds for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening. You can follow us at The Clear Cut on Instagram and TikTok or shop at theclearcut.co.